Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of the Shameless Freedom Podcast. And today I want to talk about the pressure that we put on ourselves as women. If I think about all of the roles that we play, mother, daughter, wife, chauffeur, cook, house cleaner, house activity manager, plus all of the things we do for our day job, as well as the activities that we participate in to give back to the community, whether it is with our church or some local community things. There's so many roles that we play. And we put these expectations on ourselves of how we're going to show up because we want to support people. We want to serve others. We want to make other people's lives easier. And at the same time, what we don't always realize is the pressure that we are putting on ourselves, the pressure that we are carrying without knowing it. And I want you to think about the word pressure for just a moment. I invite you to close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and let it out. And when you think of the word pressure, what comes to mind? Is there a word? Is there a phrase that just intuitively comes up for you? Don't question it. Don't try to find the right answer. Just allow yourself to notice what shows up. Stop trying to find the perfect answer and allow yourself to let information flow to you. You see, majority of our challenges come from the fact that we are trying too hard. We are trying to do things in our strength, in our way, as opposed to allowing spirit to guide us and to make it easier. Now, this is not about religion. However, there is a spiritual component to this in regards to knowing that you're not alone. And you don't have to do everything yourself. You don't always have to focus on the pressure that is involved with things. And I want to share with you, I did a workshop with a group of women and we talked about the word pressure. And I'll just share a handful of things that some of the women shared in regards to this word. Heaviness, perfectionism, performance, that it's constant. Pressure makes me feel suffocated or trapped. It's never ending. Pressure happens too often. Well, pressure is a way of life. I just want to stop there for a moment. Our lives do not have to constantly feel like pressure. However, we have been taught that we need to struggle, that we need to have discomfort, that we need to experience pressure in order to come out the other side. Now, there is a balance with this. Yes, there is a component of feeling discomfort, but there's a difference between discomfort and this heaviness of carrying the weight and the expectation. You see, we don't have to carry that pressure, that heaviness. It's not ours to carry. We can step into something and do it courageously with a little bit of fear. And that's okay. But when we constantly feel like we have to perform, that someone is looking upon us to be the savior, someone is looking for us to provide the wisdom, guidance, experience, you name it, we end up taking that on. And that is not ours to carry. When I think about how we can be of greater service in this world, it is not of what happens because of ourselves. It is what happens through us. And when we try to hold things and we try to control, it's like we try to create space, but then we fill up the space with all of the things we've just put in it. That creates more pressure. That I want to invite you into a new world, a new way of being that is not about pressure, but about allowing and being in a space of expansion and capacity, but not because you can physically hold 200 more pounds of weight, but because you are allowing things to flow through you. And there's a big difference. So many of us want to, we want to be the best, right? We all want to be significant. We want to be important. We want to be of service to the world. At the same time, we can end up carrying way too much. There's one thing in doing self-love and self-care for ourselves. And then there's another thing in holding and being that support for others. And I think that so many of us women, we we claim we know what self-care is, and we really don't. We do a handful of things that are self-care related, but we keep putting this pressure on ourselves. If you are continuing to feel pressure, I invite you to stop and listen to your body. What does that pressure want you to know? Do you need to carry it? Is it something that you need to worry about? Is it something that God can handle? Is it something you can delegate to someone else? Is there an opportunity for you to give yourself grace? How many of you have punished yourself for not being somewhere yet? Or that your speech didn't turn out the way that you wanted, that your presentation has not completed in the time frame that you wanted, no matter what it is. How many of us put ourselves in this position of pressure and not allowing things to flow through us? And then we end up beating ourselves up for it. How many of you have done that? Anyone? Bueller? Have you ever beat yourself up? Self-sabotaged, criticized yourself for a mistake that you made, whether it was a little one or a big one? We all pride ourselves on growth and development and the skills we bring to the table. And at the end of the day, it's more than about the skills we bring to the table. It's about who we are and how we show up. And when you can give yourself grace, allow yourself to, what I'll say is, nourish your body. Our bodies need love and compassion and nourishment. We need devotion over force. How many of you have wanted to do something and you are disciplined to do that thing every day, right? And it feels like a chore. Now, there's a difference between building a new habit and maintaining one. And there are going to be days when you may need to act on something when you don't really want to. But this is where it's important to get in touch with your body and find out, you know what? Can my body actually handle this today? I know there's a lot of mind over matter, and yet at the same time, there is a point of pushing that is too much. That we can push ourselves too hard. It doesn't have to be hard. We've been taught that it needs to be hard, but it does not. If we allow ourselves to go with the flow, if we allow ourselves to move with grace instead of judgment, with compassion over shame, nourishment over control, things will shift in your world. Because what our souls, minds, and bodies really need is self-acceptance, tenderness, grace. Are you giving yourself the grace that you would give to a friend? We all know that we beat ourselves up the most. But do you pay attention? Do you know when you are doing that? Can you recognize when you're in a space of creating pressure for yourself? And not allowing yourself the space to just be. Sometimes it's okay to not do anything, to take a nap, to rest, to simply be. Our bodies need that time for rejuvenation because when you have so much pressure, you need to allow it to release. Your body was not made to experience the level of stress and pressure that we are putting on it, especially as women, we are messing with our hormones. When we are stressed and we feel pressure, our cortisol levels go up. What does that do? It wreaks havoc on our body, on our mind, on the way we show up or don't show up. So I invite you, when you think about what it means to show up in your feminine power, I invite you to ask the question of, am I letting life support me? Where can I be held? I need to let go of the grip. And you may be hearing this and say, you know what? I know that I've done that. I hear you. And I want to invite you to look into it in a deeper way. Because that is where the true growth comes into play. There are layers that you maybe can't see. And I want to invite you to open up to the possibilities of where you are putting too much pressure on yourself. Oh, and you might actually be putting too much pressure on the people around you. Do your clients feel it? Do your kids feel it? Our kids are typically the first ones who feel it. Now, they're not going to come out and say it, but their aura in the way that they are being is going to show up in that way. And I want you to be curious about where you can identify times of pressure in your life, where you maybe are not asking for support, that you're not allowing yourself to receive support. Where are you trying to do things on your own? And many times we fall apart when that happens. You know, as women, we are naturally giving and we love to support each other. And many times there are women that will jump in and support another woman without her asking, which is great and can sometimes not be the greatest because women then look to other women to just kind of come in and jump in and save them rather than stepping up and asking for what you need, asking for that support and saying, I can't do this alone anymore. And I need support. I need help. No matter what area of your life it is in, because I promise you, if it shows up in one area, it's going to show up in the other. You putting pressure on yourself in the bedroom, in your relationship, if you're experiencing pressure in the bedroom, you are not going to experience the level of pleasure that you desire. Let me say that again. If you are experiencing pressure about performance, what your body looks like, how you are acting, what you are asking for, what you are saying, what you are not saying, you're allowing your body to be numb and your mind to be thinking that's pressure. We need to teach our bodies how to respond, to let go of the pressure, to surrender the mind and to drop into the body. And it's funny, I had an experience just even recently where I was at a New Year's party and we all got to name what our name was going to be. And it was, queen this, lady this, lord that, whatever. And of course, who doesn't want to come up with a perfect name, right? And of course, my mind was like, well, what's something that's fun and sexy? And there was a part of me that just kept saying Lady Grace. But I didn't want to pick that. There was a part of me that was like, no, that's not fun and sexy. That's like soft, sensual, elegant, beautiful. But that wasn't where my brain was. Hello, there's a great opportunity to stop and to say, wait a minute. Typically, when the body speaks, that is what needs to happen. When the mind steps in and says, no, 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 I'm going to be in control. I'm going to take this. I want to think of something better. No, we stop the flow from happening and create more pressure. So if you are someone who wants to learn how to stop the monkey mind and learn to get into your body, release the pressure, I invite you to join my Intimacy Redefined program, where we are going to talk about situations, but use practical tools to allow you to live in your body, to listen to your body instead of the crazy monkey mind that's always there, right? You allow yourself to get out of your head and get into your body and to allow things to be easy. They can be easy. In fact, it is easy when we allow it to be.